You guys saw the title. Should the Philadelphia Eagles bench Carson Wentz? What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you are new to the channel and love talking Philly sports every single day, the good, the bad, the ugly, hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on post notifications so you know when I go live or drop some content instantly. Become part of that notification gang. On that note, smash that like button and let's just jump into today's topic because it's a big one. Should the Philadelphia Eagles bench Carson Wentz for either Jalen Hurts or Nate Sudfeld? But before I get into my opinion on whether or not the Philadelphia Eagles should bench Carson Wentz, let me give you some context. Here's one thing though about context. Some people mistake context for excuses, but they're two totally different things. An excuse is something just made up to explain a reason, but it doesn't really make sense. Context is the exact reason why this certain situation could possibly have happened. So let's talk about this. The Philadelphia Eagles offensive line has been decimated, and although guys like Jordan Mailata, Nate Herbig, Jack Driscoll, when healthy, has been playing pretty good for their individual self, the team together has been bad. It's one of the worst units in the NFL. Carson Wentz has already been sacked 32 times on the NFL season. 32 times. Let's put this in some context. His rookie season, he was sacked 33 total times in 16 games. 2017, he played a total of 13 games, was only sacked 28 times. In 2018, he was sacked 31 times, and that is in 11 games. And in 2019, he played 16 games and was sacked 37 times. So 16 games, 37 sacks. 8 games, 32 sacks. If that right there wouldn't put a quarterback in his own head, trying to press, doing things that are out his element, I don't know what will. All I remember is Tampa Bay versus the Green Bay Packers, and they were getting pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And I believe he threw 2 or 3 picks in that game and looked bad. I think he took like 4 or 5 sacks, threw a couple picks, and he looked bad. And that is one of the best passers to ever play in the National Football League. And not to mention, besides week 4, finding a stud in Travis Fulgham, you're talking about week 1, 2, 3, and most of 4, we had a revolving door and some unknowns at the wide receiver position, because even our first round draft pick, who I think is going to be a stud, was injured. So thank God we found Travis Fulgham, who since week 4 leads the league in receiving yards. Check that out on my last video. Shout out to TF13. But that is some of the context that any quarterback who played for the Philadelphia Eagles will deal with. Now, if you believe that this team is a quarterback away from winning a lot of games, that means the secondary besides Darius Slay, you think can really hold up? The linebackers think they can really hold up? Although they've been better with Alex Singleton and TJ Edwards, but Duke Riley and Nate Gary were part of the reason we were losing these games early in the season. Now, I'm not saying Carson Wentz wasn't. We're going to get to Carson Wentz because although I support Carson Wentz, I've been a person who gave Carson Wentz his fair share of criticism because 16 turnovers, 12 interceptions, 4 fumbles cannot be acceptable. But again, these aren't excuses. This is context, and I'm going to leave the defense alone and just stick with the offense. So the revolving door at wide receiver, the lack of production from Doug Pederson in the run game, the O-line, and last but not least, the play calling has been subpar. There's been times where Doug Pederson had it going, and I'll give him credit for it, but the situational football has been bad. We've seen it time and time again. The lack of running, run when you're not supposed to, pass when you're not supposed to, abandon the run, this, that, and the third, have Carson Wentz bring you down just to run a read option. And there's been times where it's like, put the ball on Carson Wentz and roll him out and let him finish. And we just don't do it. Now, again, with the play calling being bad, the O-line being one of the last units in the NFL, the revolving door at wide receiver, that still is no excuse for Carson Wentz to have this many turnovers and to be making some of the decisions he's making. I agree 100%. Carson Wentz sometimes makes decisions where I'm like, huh? What? 5 years in the NFL and you're still doing that? or 5 years in the NFL and you're now doing that? That's what I'm trying to say. When we look at Carson Wentz and his fumbles, yes, I want that to be corrected, but that's been there the whole time he's been in the NFL. Holding the ball too long, that's something else that's been there the whole time he's been in the NFL. So yes, I want him to correct the fumbles and holding the ball, but that's been there. But let me get to the holding the ball for a second. Now, when he holds the ball and he gets sacked, everybody's mad at Carson Wentz. But when he's holding the ball, he breaks a tackle, rolls out again, and throws a 30-yard strike. Everybody's like, wow, thank God he didn't throw the ball away. So when it comes to holding the ball, you got to take the good with the bad, but Carson does got to be more smart in certain situations, knowing, hey, I could get a field goal. Hey, I could do this. He has to get that done. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is interceptions. As we all know, I've said this multiple times, Carson Wentz threw 14 interceptions his rookie season, 7 interceptions in 2017, 7 interceptions in 2018, and 7 interceptions in 2019 with Mike Groh as OC and Press Taylor as the quarterback coach. Not good. Now he has Doug Pederson as the offensive coordinator and a guy who he has to go to. Press Taylor is now the passing game coordinator and quarterback coach and be in the press box. So Carson got no one to lean on when he comes to the sideline. But even still, he can't be making these decisions. I agree 100%. When you look at his decision making, it's been suspect. It's been bad. It's been atrocious. But there has been upside. There also have been a handful of throws only a couple guys can make. Some of the strikes at TF13, Greg Ward, the one to Boston Scott, the rollout in San Fran to Boston Scott. These are some of the throws that only a handful of guys can make, and that's how you know Carson Wentz still got it. It has been the decision making that has brought him down in 2020. Simple and plain. He don't have them 12 interceptions, and he looks totally different to us. And these are the two main reasons why I won't bench Carson Wentz. 1, we're not a quarterback away. There are other issues on this team that we have to fix, whether it be play calling, the O-line, just being healthy, the second cornerback, some of our linebackers. These are positions that we need to fill. That's not the quarterback. And the last but not least reason I won't bench Carson Wentz is because, look, I do not want to use the COVID-19, no preseason OTAs, the different type of testing, the practice schedule as an excuse because the whole National Football League is going through it. But everybody acts different, responds different to different things. And this could be an anomaly season because we've never seen these amount of interceptions and bad decision makings, and out of nowhere, it came. So the same way it came this quick, it could go away this quick. If the rest of the season is the same thing, well, then I have to raise some red flags and start to think, man, is it really just Doug? Or man, will Carson ever get out of his own head? Or man, will he go back to just 1 year ago making decisions, because just then he had only 7 interceptions. And that's the biggest part of his game that he has to clean up. He's always missed high, he's always missed low, but we can always count on him to get it done and make a play. But this year, he's been a turnover machine, both fumbles and interceptions, and that gotta stop. But I will give him the benefit of the doubt because I haven't seen it multiple times. But here we are. Bye week at the perfect time, week 8. I got to see a different Carson Wentz. Now again, the play calling still going to be the same. The O-line still going to be the same. So I just got to really look at Carson Wentz and his decision making these last 8 games, because decisions are going to have to be made throughout the whole organization, and the quarterback is going to be one. But to me, the rest of 2020, you cannot even think about, cannot even talk about benching Carson Wentz. Now, I understand some people who said, well, why not bench him for 1 game like McNabb got benched by Andy Reid just to get him back to earth and hold him accountable. Now that I can maybe get behind because we're in the NFC East, and if he's bad in the game, bench him at halftime. But to fully bench him and think that this team will be better with Jalen Hurts or Nate Sudfeld, I don't believe so. Now again, if Carson Wentz continues to turn the ball over like this, well, then an average C- quarterback would possibly be better. I just think this is an anomaly. It's not going to be like this the rest of the season or going forward. And if I'm wrong, well, you can come back here and tell me, because then something happened. A whole switch was turned off. But you don't just go from good to this bad. And if you do, you have to be able to climb back out. And I'm only talking about the interceptions because he's still making a couple beautiful, beautiful throws a game. And that just shows the athleticism and the talent is still there. It's all up here. And I trust it will get back. So with all that being said, I say no way, Jose, can we bench Carson Wentz in 2020? This is going to have to be an ongoing thinking decision if this continues. But let me know if you think I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment sections. Would you bench Carson Wentz? If so, one game, the rest of the season, yes, no, tell me why. And also be aware, check community posts because I keep putting the post up for you to grade each position, and I'm going to use it in my weekend video. And also, since there's no Eagle football, I might be doing a FanDuel DFS contest. I believe it's going to be a $10 buy-in. I'm not sure all the rules yet, but if you're interested in the DFS $10 buy-in, let me know in the comment section, and we'll figure it out. But I should be talking about that maybe Saturday in the middle of the day. We'll try to do that FanDuel contest. $10. I think it's going to be first, second, and third place get paid. It should be fun. Let me know if you're interested about DFS Sunday slate, 1 o'clock through Sunday night games. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.